and you put the timer on now. So that's very, very clever. That's the timer so we know how much time we have left.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing things.
Because we only have 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's short.
I know, and we have a lot to talk about. Hi, Cecile. Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, good morning. I'm fine. And you?
I'm good. So we're in Kiev, you and I.
Yes.
You were talking yesterday about the future of travel. What did you say?
Well, I said that we're going to travel, maybe not so far in the future, maybe more locally. And that I think that for me, traveling is just being alive, meeting new people, discovering new places. So we should go on traveling, even if it's just nearby.
Yeah. But let's start talking about design and dessert. So you chose the small cookies. Why did you choose them?
Because they're small, because they're brown, because I love chocolate. I'm not so much into sugar. I'm more, I prefer salt and vegetables and cheese and stuff like that.
Very French in a way.
No, I don't eat meat at all, so not at all French. Okay, and since, well, more than 40 years. So, yeah, so I choose them because, yeah, I like sablé, you know, the kind of short bread. Yeah, that's why. I'm not very much into croissant and stuff like that.
I chose pain au chocolat. I remember when I came, we also talked last night about when the iPhones and mobile technology came, and it's so recent. It's only like 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, we're really used to it now. Yeah, yeah.
So are you a dessert person, Cecile?
Not very much. I like to cook very much. I really enjoy cooking. And I do cook some desserts like chocolate cake, apple pie, crumble, a lot of cooked fruits. But I'm really more salt than sugar.
So more a starter person, actually. Can you say that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I love starter because when you don't eat meat and when you are French, well, it's sometimes a bit difficult to find something without meat. So now it's getting better. But I remember, yeah, 40 years ago that was really hard. So I used to order 2 starters and without explanation to my friend, no, I'm not really hungry. I think 2 starters will be fine because I mean it was too complicated to explain. Why did you choose not to eat meat anymore? But do you eat fish? So fish is okay, but meat is not okay. Is it a religion? And so on. So I decided that it was easier not to explain.
But that's also about storytelling, the way we live. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it is about storytelling, but it is also about making your life a bit easier. So not trying to justify everything. And also the problem is that when you decide for yourself to do something, sometimes people feel like they are judged by the decision you took. And there is nothing, I'm not judging anyone. I'm just deciding what I want to do with myself. So, yeah, and also when you touch to something that is really deep in the mind of people, in the tradition, in the heritage, then it starts to be complicated. Yeah. So, yeah.
So salty person, that's what you are. I'm not so sweet either, actually. I'm kind of a salty person as well. But you and I have the same kind of job. You're a trend hunter as well. Or how do you define yourself? What do you call yourself? Do you have a title?
Yeah, I mostly say I'm trend forecaster because I'm not hunting because I don't eat meat. So hunting is not my thing. Okay, I'm not just taking things, grab it.
I kill trends. Okay. That's what I do.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just, I'm more picking, okay. Okay, like you pick apples or tomatoes, so I'm just picking. So I'm more a kind of trend forecaster, or, well, some people prefer the prospectivist stuff, futuristic, whatever. I'm a trend forecaster. I love trends, and I need to do connections. I'm very curious. I'm like that since I was 4, and it never stops. And I do my job in different way, like you do. I do workshops, conferences.
That's what we're here in Kiev.
Yeah. So I mean, it really depends. I love also teaching, exchanging with young students. This is something that I really enjoy a lot.
Now you have to stop. I warned you, because we had dinner last night, and we were like, I know, because we were talking and talking. That's why we're doing this. Yes. So I'm doing this now. Cecile, now I need to ask a question. So do we have an important job?
No, I don't think so.
Neither do I. No, okay. Thank you for that answer. I think that trends are interesting, as you said. You said that word a few times, and it's you're curious, and I think it's absolutely, it's finding puzzles in the lives spectre. Important, not really, but it's interesting. So how about now? What are the most important things now? I know this is a huge question, and you only have like 1 minute to answer. What's important now, as from a trend perspective, as in the lifestyle we have?
Sustainability.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to say sustainability.
Sustainability, of course, I'm going to say sustainability because there is no other choice. There is no planet B. I mean, it's affect everything, us, our children. I mean, so there is no choice. It's not. I would say that it's not even a kind of trend in a way. It's just a moral obligation, a need. Everything we should do should go into that direction. And I think we should help people to understand that, for instance, I try to explain to people that my job is not about things that are fading away quickly. It's about helping people to transition. How can you do fewer things, better quality, lasting for a longer time? I think it's all about that. So if I have only one word, sustainability.
Thank you, Cecile. That was quick.
That was
Yeah, and of course there's like tons of follow-up questions, but we only have our 15 minutes. But how do you think, I do agree, I think that the sustainability question is going to be changing everything, and we see the results already now. For instance, shops are closing, our cities are changing. How do you think our cities or our life will look in 5 years? I mean, this is not like a long time, but in 5 years, are shops still going to be around? Are we going to have shopping malls? Are we going to have cars? Are we going to be flying? How do you see our lives in 5 years?
I think we're going to find alternative that we are already finding depending where you live. I mean, if it's in Northern Europe or Southern Europe, or if it's in the US, but I think bicycles are going to be more and more important. So slow way of slow transportation is going to be more and more important. I think, yeah, we're going to still have shops, but I hope that we will have the comeback of more craft shop, between atelier and shop. So people doing things, everyone is looking for purpose and doing things for real. Like if you are taking care of shoes, or if you are doing things with clay, or if you are a painter, or if you are, I don't know. So we're going to see still shops, but I hope that it's going to be more local, more in connection with the place, not just only the same brands everywhere, in every street, in every city. And we're going to have also a lot of second-hand shops, for furniture, but also for clothing. So I guess that in 5 years, things are going to change a little, not that much, unfortunately. So more slow transportation, more second-hand shops, more atelier and places where people are doing. I hope more places also where people can meet, like we do, face-to-face, speaking with people, exchanging. I see a lot of my friends wanting to open a kind of a cafe or a small bar, maybe selling books at the same time, or maybe selling flowers, or just a kind of salon thé for the afternoon. So I think people are looking for connection, places where they can connect with others.
I agree. I think one of the scary foresights is, the cities, what it looks like, because we see a lot of shops closing. I'm coming back to the shops. It's not the only issue for sustainability and the way we live, but I mean, it's going to be so visible. I mean, if you go to New York, for instance, there's like tons of blocks that are basically closed off because no one is doing shops anymore. But let's talk about something else in our 15 minutes. So I do agree, sustainability is a key thing. But do you still focus on colors? Is that important when you do trends?
Yeah, color is important, but I think for me what is getting more and more important is really to be aware of the local feeling. So I guess if you are doing colors, if you are living in a city with a bright sun, then the feeling of color is very different than if you are living in Brussels. Brussels from Barcelona, it's not the same era. So I think we should stop to think too much into a very large way and trying to do the same thing everywhere. The one size fits all. This is great for industrial people trying to make a lot of money, like Coca-Cola, like Heinz, like, brands like that. But I think we need to go back to things that are really more local, in connection with the people, in connection with the place, more with more soul, and not just only things for making things.
It looks like a very, very nice future, I think.
I hope so.
Yeah. I don't know how our time is.
No, because
no,
my
yeah,
timer
yeah,
just
yeah.
so-
It fell off.
Yeah,
We
sorry.
have about 5 minutes,
Oh,
so
yeah.
yeah, we're good on time. I want to ask you one thing, and this is a tricky question. You're not prepared for that.
I love tricky questions. Okay.
Because also when I read about you, we talk about the curiosity, the always constantly looking for things and connections and finding the line between the dots, etc., etc. Do you have a routine, Cecile? Do you like wake up in the morning, always read the paper or read online, or do you have like a routine for your trend life?
No, I'm much too much a kind of I don't know. For some things I'm very precise. I'm on time. I'm very strict, and for other things I'm very French. So it's a kind of so I do spend a lot of time online. I must say I'm looking for a lot of things on Instagram, but also. Yeah, I read a lot of online newsletter that I subscribe to.
Which ones? Which ones should we all subscribe to?
So many, I don't know, so many, and they are not always interesting. So I also subscribe, unsubscribe, change. But so I don't really have a routine. I try to meditate every morning. I said I try. It doesn't mean that it works every morning, but
I always fall asleep.
I don't fall asleep, but I always, often find an excuse not to do it, like, I'm in a rush, I need to do that, I need to answer to that email. So I don't really have a routine. My routine is just to open my eyes and try to see what's going on, what's up, what's new, and just trying to pick informations.
Okay, that was a quick answer. I mean, because I have a routine now. October, we start in the early October. This is when I sit down and think. Basically, all year, like 11 months of the year, I travel, I see things, I gather material, and now in October I sit down and I start thinking, and I basically lock myself to my country house, and I lock the door, pour a glass of wine, and I start like putting things together. Okay, there's more red here, there's more craft there, there's more technology there. So that's my routine.
Yeah.
To me, it's kind of important to have a routine, but you're very eclectic. That's what you are.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that. So and then if I start a new job, if I have a new mission, then I will do it with my routine. So and the kind of way I analyze a mission that I have to do. So I will gather information. I will look for sources. I will grab everything, and then I will try to make a synthesis and see what is really relevant. So I will do it if I have a mission specific. But
You don't do like a yearly trend report?
no. No, on a daily basis, I'm just, doing the things I need to do and trying to keep on my mind open and trying to see things and to give also some time, like yesterday I had some time in the afternoon, so I went to see Sofia Cathedral, and that was very moving and a very beautiful place in Kiev. And then I thought, okay, this was the one thing that was super strong for my day, and that was enough. And I said, okay, I don't want to enter another church. I don't want to enter another shop. This is it. So I also learned how to stop.
Okay. I don't. Teach me how to stop. I always work. So how was Kiev? Do you think Kiev has a potential as being a trend city?
It's a very interesting city. I think it got a very rich use of color on the buildings. It's very. I think many people don't know Kiev, and I don't know it very well either. It's just my third time here, but I think it's much more creative than what people imagine. They imagine something very dull and with no joy, or because it's very Norse. If you are in France, it's very Norse for us. But I think it's this is wrong. I mean, for me, it's a very interesting city, very creative, trying really to find a way to be really a live part of that century. So I don't know if it can be a trend city, but it can be a very creative city. It got the potential of it.
I do agree. I think a lot of these Eastern European cities do have that potential. I mean, look at what has happened in Warsaw, for instance. There's a lot of like creativity there. How's our time? Do you know the phone? How's the time? Oh no, we're out.